Hi, this is Steve from LZ23 Strength, where we exert ourselves, we elevate our health, and we evolve in mind and body. Today we're talking about the 7 habits of disciplined people that any of us can achieve and cultivate, and certainly where these principles may apply to all aspects of somebody's life. We're focusing in here on our health. We want a long, healthy life. We want our health span and longevity to be affected, but it's going to take discipline. It doesn't happen automatically. So let's talk about these 7 and see how we can apply them specifically in areas of health. So the first one we're going to talk about is to follow a daily routine. Things don't happen accidentally. I know that we live in a busy world where we all have lots of things to do, but it's good to have a routine. A routine when it comes to what we're going to eat, a routine when it comes to our exercise, even a routine for nighttime as we try to get proper rest and sleep. It's all, you can't just leave it to chance and let's see how the day goes. Let's see how I feel, what my mood is. It can't be left up to that. We need to clearly set up a routine that's consistent. And that's something that we talk about a lot, that anything we're doing, it can't be half. It has to be consistent, something that we do on a daily and weekly basis. So create your routine. Everyone's going to have a different one. You see all kinds of suggestions online, and we're all unique with unique circumstances from age, health, family, jobs. So we have to find what works for us. You can take suggestions that are out there, but then create what's going to work for you. There's all kinds of things that might sound phenomenal, but in your circumstance, it might not be applicable. So we don't want to just try to adopt anything that people put out there. We want to tailor it to our needs and what we're going to carry through on. So routine is important in the sense that it can help create habits as well. And habits are something that we don't have to think about. Nobody has to tell us to do things. We don't stress about it. We just carry them out, and that's how we want our routines to eventually become habits that we just automatically do on a daily basis. A second habit of disciplined individuals is that they set smaller, accomplishable goals, micro goals, you might want to say. So we may have lofty goals, but we want to make sure that they're clear, concise, and then break them into smaller pieces that we can achieve them. And first of all, making them clear, like you might say, well, I want to get in shape. Well, how is that going to be accomplished? That's just a general idea. Maybe a clearer goal would be is I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to be able to go to the gym 4 times a week. I want to get 7,000 to 8,000 steps every day. Putting it down, even writing them down in a journal. What are your goals? And then what do I need to do? At first, we might put some of these things out there and say, wow, that sounds lofty and maybe overwhelming. So when you break them down into smaller goals, what can I do on a daily basis? What can I do on a weekly basis to reach those goals? So successful people are going to break down their goals and define them specifically so that they can reach the ultimate goals that they would like, and then they can say, yeah, truly I am in shape. I'm best weight I've been in years. I feel is better than I have in years. And that's all going to come down to having those micro goals in order. A third thing that individuals do that are practicing self-discipline is that they set priorities. They prioritize their day, and there's a million things that we all can do. There's a million things we like to do. There's a million things we have to do, but there's only so much time. We all have 24 hours in a day, and we have to prioritize how we're going to use them. Specifically in this area, that's where self-discipline comes in. If we really truly want to reach a certain health goal, then we're going to prioritize how we use our time. So setting priorities is vital. Interesting. Some comments in this regard have been made that you have to plan ahead for the next day. If we prioritize, we never just want to leave it to our feelings. Like wake up in the morning and, I don't feel like exercising today, or I'm not in the mood to go to the gym. If it's a priority and we're setting those goals, we have the routine, we need to stick with that. The 7 habits of disciplined people who are successful in whatever endeavor, they're not ruled by feelings and being in the mood. Actually, successful people are the ones that are willing to do what the unsuccessful people won't do. And come rain or shine, come how they feel in the morning, they need to get things done. And that's how we want to become. And then, again, that'll become a habit for us to carry it out. So we definitely need to set priorities. A number 4 area that individuals who have discipline and have cultivated that self-discipline, they do hard things first. And this one's interesting. I'm going to give you a visual that might creep you out a little bit, but have you ever heard the expression eat the frog? That was a term that's been often attributed to Mark Twain. And he said, if your job is to eat a frog, it's best that you do it first thing in the morning. And they said, if your job is to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. So got 2 frogs here, eat the biggest one first. And what is that really telling us? Well, it's telling us that we need to do the most important things first in the morning while we have energy and we have willpower. A lot of people think that you need to have a lot of willpower to carry things out, but willpower is really a finite resource. And if we're just relying on that, it'll lead to disappointment easily. But usually in the mornings, most people have the most time and energy and willpower to carry things out. So eating the frog, the most difficult task, doing that first thing in the morning, is a fine way to get results and build momentum, build resilience, and it reduces stress too for us, because it alleviates the mental burden of having some daunting task that we feel, when am I going to get to that? How am I going to get that done? So if we eat the frog each and every day, and that's what we have to do, we have to repeat that daily. It would be nice if we ate the frog once and we were done with it, but on a daily basis, that needs to be the mindset. Another way somebody put it says, if there are multiple frogs, eat the ugliest one first. So whatever that proves to be for you in the morning, if it's exercising, if it's getting up early, eat the frog. Do what's most difficult in the morning. Okay, number 5 is that they track their progress. And why is this important? Because we all like to feel like we're accomplishing something. So whether it's through a journal, take self pictures of how we're looking, if we're trying to lose weight and see how that's looking, you can tell with our clothes, but writing these things down definitely can be a aid, and then rewarding ourselves. We've talked about some of these things in previous videos, that a little reward for how good we're doing will motivate us to keep going. So track your progress, write it down, and then you'll get some rewards. Okay, number 6, delaying gratification. Developing the ability to delay gratification definitely takes discipline, because we're geared, and especially in the world and the time we live in now, we want gratification yesterday. We want it immediately. We want it right away. So being able to delay that, it helps us to grow. And in the long term, it's going to bring rewards by not giving into the lure of short-term pleasure or immediate pleasure, knowing that what we're striving for is something greater. And the rewards of reaping that later is truly takes self-discipline. It's swimming against the current. It's not what's normal for most people, and maybe even our own inclination, it doesn't feel normal. So being able to delay self-gratification, looking at the bigger goal, long term, and being able to hold off, especially when it comes to things like eating, that's definitely going to come into play, where yeah, we would enjoy that donut or that piece of cake or ice cream or what have you, but is it going to push our goal backwards? Maybe we got to a certain point, as we just talked about, we're tracking our progress and making progress. Then we go off the beaten path here in our diet, and then it sets us back. So certainly being able to delay that self-gratification or gratification and pleasure is a worthy goal with self-discipline. And the final one that I want to talk about, number 7, that disciplined people use and are successful, again, in all walks of life, but we're trying to narrow it down here into our health, is to embrace discomfort. And I've talked about that just in a recent video. It's not easy because I've talked about a book that's out there called The Comfort Crisis, where basically in this time, everything is kind of designed to push comfort, that we want the easy way, the easy path. We don't want to get uncomfortable. Well, uncomfortableness really helps us to grow. And it's a necessary part, even just for discipline. Discipline thrives when we're willing to face challenges and push ourselves beyond what we normally do. It's a powerful catalyst for transformation in our lives. And maybe we need that when it comes to the area of health. And in talking about all these 7 areas, let me briefly review those, because we have some final thoughts on what we want to do here. So the 7 areas, again, that are self-disciplined people, they become habits for them to make them successful. And number 1 is they follow a routine, a daily routine, and you want to set that up to your personal needs and goals. And when it comes to goals, break them down into micro goals, so that they're easily attainable and they'll build momentum, keep you going, motivate you. The third thing that they do is prioritize. We have to set priorities of what's important. Again, there's so many things biting for our time and energy. If we don't prioritize, they'll consume our time and energy, and we certainly won't reach goals. So that's where discipline definitely comes in. Do the hard things first. Eat the frog. That's a perfect symbolism, because I've never had frogs. I don't know if you've ever eaten frog legs, but I don't think I would personally. But eat the frog. That could be the hardest thing that we do. That's how we want to look at each day. There's going to be a million things to do, but if we can tackle the hardest one first, truly it's going to help us get through the rest of the day, make the rest of the day a little bit easier. Not totally easy, but a little easier. Number 5, you want to track your progress. Write it down, especially in a journal is a great way to do it. And then reward yourself a little as you're going along and reaching certain goals. Number 6, be able to delay gratification. Don't look for the short-term pleasure. Look at the long-term. Look at the horizon and the goals that you have and how good that will be for us, especially when it comes to our health and having a good health span and longevity. And then finally, being able to embrace discomfort. This isn't an easy path that we're taking, but discipline rewards those who are able to embrace discomfort and accomplish things in their lives, because we're kind of all on a journey. Jim Rohn, fellow that I've mentioned before, I really like. He was a personal growth kind of a coach, motivator, speaker, and he talked about how you would arrive in 5 years at your destination. So just think from today, in 5 years, we're going to be somewhere. Where are we going to be? Well, wouldn't it be nice that we'll say that this is what I planned. These are the hurdles and obstacles that I overcame, the trials that I overcame, the strategies and routine that I developed. And this is why I am way healthier and feel so good 5 years later than I did from 5 years before. Or it could be the other way. We might say, well, here's the reasons and excuses why I couldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve, and that's why I look and feel the way I do. So the 5 years is going to come and go pretty quickly. All depends on what we're going to do, and self-discipline is what's going to get us there. And successful people do what unsuccessful people, as I mentioned, aren't willing to do, and they're going to do it whether they feel like it or not. They're not going to follow their feelings and their mood. And self-discipline is a way of life, really, the foundation that all successes come from. And if you look back on your life and you really examine some things that you were able to accomplish, you'll probably see some of these core principles. And there's some others that we'll talk about in the future as well. But some of these 7 things that we discussed, you'll probably see that you did them to some extent to reach your goals. And it's not just one giant obstacle. It's not like you just climbed one mountain and now you have discipline. It's like a muscle that you have to continue to strengthen on a daily and weekly basis. But if you do that, the results are going to be phenomenal. And the beauty of discipline, self-discipline, is that it compounds. Like financially, when we talk about money and compounding interest, that's what's going to happen. We're going to grow in all sorts of ways as we strive to do that. And it's not just for, I think, well, some people get it because they're talented or their circumstances are way better. It's really something that all of us can do. We just have to work at it. We have to think about it and work at it. And that's what I encourage you to do. I'm still working at it. It's a work in progress. I haven't fully achieved it. There's areas that I'm doing great at, other areas that I get kind of angry with myself. So don't give up. Don't give up. We keep fighting. Every day we're breathing. We have a chance to fight back and to apply these things. So I'm going to try to do it. I encourage you to do the same. So with that in mind, I ask you to share your comments, to smash the like button, and please subscribe. And remember to exert yourself, elevate your health, evolve in mind and body. And thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.